we're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort, and China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
The guessing game as Gary Gensler takes over at the SEC. You know, we got a lot of headlines in crypto land at this hour. Charlie Gasparino is about to break more. Charlie.
Yeah, and Liz, you and I kind of touched, I guess, started the ball rolling downhill, I guess best way you could say, on Friday when we reported exclusively about what type of regulation might be coming, who was going to lead the regulation, and how the Biden administration is going to react to cryptocurrency and its essentially its widening use and some of the concerns surrounding it. And over the weekend, as you know, prices of Bitcoin started to tank dramatically. They're down today. And it's more on this notion of a crackdown from the Biden administration. So I'm going to unpack this, what I know now. Obviously, things change. This is a fluid situation. But here's what we know. And then we can address some more specific stuff. The Biden administration is in what's been described to me from people close to them as the early stages of developing a regulatory approach to the crypto market. So it's not, what's number one right now? Well, infrastructure. What's number two? Well, taxes. Number three, I don't even think it's number three, but it's being debated inside the Biden administration. From what I understand, that SEC Chair Gensler, because that's one half of this equation in terms of regulatory approach, is waiting for some direction from Treasury for the overall policy before he develops a more specific regulatory approach to crypto, which will likely be the types of enforcement actions he goes after. We should point out that at the Treasury Department, I am told, Deputy Treasury Secretary Wally Ademo is the point man on crypto. Okay. Now, here's the interesting thing, Liz. You know, lots of talk about crackdowns, regulation, outlawing. We don't know where they're going with this. It's so soon. We don't know what's going for what exactly is going to happen. I do think crypto is here to stay. I don't think, based on the people I'm talking to, they're going to outlaw it. Which is the sort of nuclear bomb that a lot of countries are starting to do now. I just don't think that's going to happen here. It's too many American investors are in this space right now. There will probably be more regulation. Here's something interesting that's going on at the same time. The SEC is debating whether to essentially approve a Bitcoin ETF. There's a huge debate at the commission level between Republicans, commissioners. I think there's two Republican commissioners, and the Democrats about this issue. The thinking is among securities lawyers that I talk to people at the commission, is that Gary Gensler will throw the Republicans a bone by approving this as a way to sort of curry favor with them on other broader policy goals he wants to do at the SEC, which is going to get involved in some pretty interesting stuff regarding ESG investing and various disclosures that companies might have to do going forward, including disclosures of political contribution. So that's what people are saying. I'm giving you the scuttlebutt of what really smart people, securities lawyers who deal with the commission, Wall Street executives who have to deal with the Treasury on this issue are talking about. The one thing we know for certain is that we're in the second inning, I believe, of a sort of regulatory approach being developed by the Biden administration through the Treasury. Janet Yellen is Treasury Secretary. She's leading this. Her point man is Wally Adamo. We're in like the second inning of that. And so when will we might see some stuff?
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Please inform your friends and family and spread all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works. Because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that everything is planned out. Now, I want to thank those who purchased the books Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book. Remember, those books are mandatory because they show you how the world really works. Also, those who donate to the Cash App, Patreon, much love, keep it coming. And then also those who are shopping at both stores, much love, keep it coming. And of course, guys, we're going to get into Bitcoin and cryptos first. We know on the weekends we're the only game in town. Guys, do not allow dips to scare you. Now, guys, make sure that you are focused on grayscale assets. Also, guys, we have Solana, Pancake, Celo, Maker, Compound, Monero, Zen. Even though we took big dips, these cryptos are still in the positive over the past 7 days, a good percentage. A lot of these coins move together. Remember, I went over Binance and Pancake. Guys, you have to study these cryptos, especially if you only have a few $100, a few thousand. Get you one or two. Do not go over that. The problem is you be invested in so many cryptos, you're spreading your profits thin. I'm not your financial advisor, not financial advice. Please do your own research. But like I state, find you the cheapest crypto that took a dip, put it in. Especially if you only have that few hundred or that few thousand that you want to make decent profits. And plus, if you're new to crypto or if you're not into trading, take time and study one or two so therefore you know the movements. So when it dips, I know this has utility. I know it's going back up. When you do the proper research, you're going from betting to investing. It's two different things. The stock market, the crypto market is controlled by the Fed, manipulated, rigged. Take advantage of the manipulation, but it does take studying and research. And do not forget to pay attention to the actual indicators. We have volume, we have Tether, we have USDC, and Jeremy tweeted out they have 14 billion in circulation. Guys, stable coins are the foundation because it gives the Fed the same control that it has over the dollar. Actually, more control. Because now they'll be able to see every transaction that you do when they get rid of this cash. So everything is going to be taxed. That's what they want. All privacy out the window, and then plus I get to tax the globe. And with universal basic income, they'll be able to airdrop free money, but tell you what, where, and when to buy. Now, we know the Fed has that $50 billion a day to manipulate yields. Do not forget that's $1.5 trillion per month that they can manipulate. Do not forget to go to the app and actually look at it on a daily basis. Plus, guys, we have CME Friday. As we see, we already took two good dips. Dips shouldn't be that bad for CME, Binance, and the other future exchanges. At the start of the month, guys, we know that we have open interest. Remember, they need Bitcoin on the 5th also as collateral. So we're going to see whether we're still in the bull market or we're starting to head into the bear market. It's going to let us know. Now, guys, getting over into the video as far as with the Bitcoin ETF, and then plus I'm going to go over the video that I was sent that was back from 2014, the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. So I'm going to touch over that at the end. But guys, we know that Bitcoin ETF is definitely going to come. Now that we have Gary Gensler in office. We know he's a New World Order puppet, Goldman Sachs, MIT. This Bitcoin ETF is going to be very important, but when we see the Canada Bitcoin ETFs, it has not really had a big effect on Bitcoin. I was sitting back, I wanted to see exactly how Bitcoin would react. Remember, guys, we need regulation in order to bring in all that institutional and those big pension funds, and they can allocate a certain percentage towards Bitcoin ETF. Without any regulation, that's not going to happen. But we definitely know if we have a Bitcoin ETF, that's going to lay down the foundation. You normally see some regulation before you'll see ETF, but we see they are going the opposite way. But we know this is part of the plan, the fourth industrial revolution plan. We know how important cryptocurrencies are going to be because not only humans are going to be using money, but robots, drones, algorithms are going to start accepting payment. Now we have lending giant Aave set to launch liquidity mining program, and we definitely see DeFi picking up. We know DeFi is the new banking, but again, guys, we need regulation, and DeFi is still in its foundation stage. We know the central banks are not going to give up any of their control. They're going to pick the winners and losers. That's the reason why we have to stay focused on that. Now we have China quietly testing digital yuan cross-border payment program with the platform Inthanon-Lion Rock. And guys, do not forget what's very, very important to this is that consensus is working with them. And how many times have I told you that JP Morgan is working on Federal Reserve 2.0? You see the same hands in the United States banking system over in China. You better believe the central banks are still going to have control over that digital yuan. If you know anything about history, China looks independent, but no, guys, it's still part of the New World Order. And lastly, guys, we go with a video from David Andafato from the Federal Reserve. Now, this was back in 2014 with the Bank of St. Louis. And this video just confirms what I've stated time and time again. And hopefully you've listened to this thoroughly, because he basically says that Ripple is a payment processor. And that's the only thing it is there to move the actual currency or asset. Gold, stocks, money. That's what it's there for. It's a synthetic token, an IOU for collateral to move money around the world. Same as XLM protocol. There is a reason why XLM and XRP are all over Asia, all over Africa, the Middle East, because they're leading us into the fourth industrial revolution. Because remember, when it comes to the New World Order, everything is planned out. Now, guys, that's all I have for you. Don't forget about the books, Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book. Also, if you're new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance, do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. Also, the Cryptoteacher stock channel. Do not forget about Cryptoteacher stocks. You have your Cobalt, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, you got the at-home stocks, the C-word, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home getting free money or waiting on that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and y'all have a wonderful day.
Does Bitcoin facilitate illegal trading? Yeah, probably, but so does the US dollar, so does gold. Remember, Bitcoin transactions travel wallet to wallet, where the wallet identities are disguised. So in that sense, they're very similar to like using US cash in facilitating illegal trades. But on the other hand, remember what I told you. The wallet histories are publicly available. Right, so the identities aren't quite linked up, but with enough forensics, I mean, you could potentially, who knows what you could possibly uncover. You've got the whole history of transactions, You know, if you discover somebody has a wallet on their computer, and I can see, I can link you to that wallet, and I can see these transactions if I'm some government authority, and you know, you're going to have some explaining to do. That's not a property of U.S. cash transactions. Okay, so in any case, you know, these types of currencies, they're just tools. They could be used for good or evil. They also support a lot of legal trading. Can Bitcoin be regulated? Some countries have issued an outright ban on the use of the Bitcoins and other currencies. So, in fact, you know, these currency controls are nothing new. You see this all the time in history. Countries are always imposing, you know, it's illegal for you to own US dollars. You cannot open a US dollar bank account in some countries. You know, they do this all the time, obviously to protect their local currency. Something different about Bitcoin, though, I mean, is that there is no centralized authority that governs the creation, you know, that manages the value of this object. How do you regulate something that has no central head? It's like trying to slay the Hydra. You cut off one head and 3 other heads appear. I mean, it's this distributed network out there in the world. I mean, how are you supposed to regulate something like that? That might either frighten you, or you might find that very exciting, depending on your point of view, but it's a fact. Can Bitcoins be taxed? Well, just the other day in the US, the IRS has ruled that for tax purposes, Bitcoins will be treated as property and not currency. When I first looked at that, I went, what are they talking about? But, okay, this is what they're talking about. When you buy and sell Bitcoins, now you must report the resulting capital gain or loss on your tax form, okay? Compliance, if you choose to comply, and I'm sure everybody in this room will, compliance means an added record-keeping cost, right? And you're a merchant. And remember, I mean, if these other currencies start to circulate, you're going to have to, you know, you can expect similar rulings. And now if you want to comply, and now not only do you have to manage the exchange rate risk, but now you're going to have to, and remember, the price volatility, you are going to experience capital gains and losses. You're going to have to keep track of them and report them. So yeah, this makes it more difficult, right? The effect of this and similar rulings serve to diminish the attractiveness of Bitcoins as currency. Does anybody use Ripple? Wow, I think you guys might be the winners, because Ripple is a currency agnostic protocol. You know, Bitcoin wants to be the money. Ripple, they have their native currency, but they don't necessarily, Ripple is a protocol that works very similarly to Bitcoin, but it's more interested in facilitating processing payments. But it'll process US dollars, euros, Bitcoins, its native currency. It's currency agnostic. And so it's quite possible that this ruling actually benefits the payments processors as opposed to the virtual currencies that really want to be competing currency. But of course, enforcing an outright ban is close to impossible, right? If people want to use Bitcoin, they're going to use Bitcoin. It's just going to drive it underground